Happy 2024, everyone. 2023 is over. It's behind us. And everything that happened this last year is now behind us. If you're like me, you're glad this year is over. Last year. Look forward to this year. My suggestion, this video, and for this year, is just know what you want. What do you want this year? That's it. What do you want? If you want to feel good, know what you want and do one little tiny thing to help you get closer to that. It'll feel good. Okay? That's it. Love to hear what you guys want this year down below. Feel free to tell us. Saying it helps us commit to it. So feel free to say it down below. All right. Questions. Let's see. First, I'd like to recommend, please, those of you who have not already supported the petition I started over a year ago, Stop Narcissistic Online Bullying petition at change.org. The link is down below. You'll see it everywhere. I'd really appreciate it. Everyone in the world, follow it and hit yes, you support it. That's simple. You aren't obligated for anything else. No money. Won't get bothered. That's it. You want to do something else? Share it with someone else. You want to stop the bullying and nasty, disgusting, toxic stuff that toxic people like to do on the internet. I would like it to stop if you would, because it's destroying people's lives and forcing people to take their own lives. Please support it. Thank you very much. That's it. And so into the questions. First question is from Rory in Ohio. All I ask you guys is give us your locations. Tell us where you are, please. Rory says, Happy New Year, David from Ohio. Hi, Happy New Year, Rory. It is what it is, LOL. I recently heard the phrase, there is no failing in healing. I found this to be so comforting because there have been so many times I felt like I wasn't doing my healing right and was going backwards or making little to no progress. I hear that all the time. I'm going backwards. No, we don't go backwards. It's a ebb and flow, yeah? I mean, even life isn't linear. Healing especially isn't. Ebb and flow, ebb and flow. You used to have a what's the use attitude. Well, what's helped me a lot is to realize that this is not a race. I will have good days and bad days, but the bad days have been fewer and far between. Good. That's it. Good. And to give myself grace, I can heal at my own pace. Absolutely. And that's what I do with clients, right? That's what helping people do this should be doing at your speed, at your pace. Now I forgot the question. LL, I hope you have a great weekend. Oh, that's okay. That's right, guys. We might be healing, all of us might be healing from something our whole life. This isn't something that we do and it's over. This continues for the rest of your life, I hope, because this is a major, major event. So important. So important to understand how important it is. And that this is telling us to make changes in our life, the biggest changes in our life. To feel better, to have what we want and need. Yeah? Thanks, Rory. I think people like to hear that. And Llama, LKV. Don't know where you're from. Would love to know your location. Hello, dear. Well, I know you're not 20. Actually, I listened to your special amazing videos. Thank you. I want to ask some more questions. I've diagnosed with bipolar type 2 and my relationships were unstable. In every aspect, even if it's romantic or friendship, I used to fall for someone suddenly, and then after a month I realized I had no connection with him anymore. However, my psychiatrist said I have BPD traits beside the bipolar, but I don't think so, because after almost 2 years of cognitive therapy and taking my meds, everything has been settled down now. I'm still having some difficulty in getting into romantic relationship because I decided not to have one until I fully treated. I didn't want to hurt anyone anymore. My question is it possible to be emotionally stable even if I was bipolar? Does bipolar ever combine with BPD? Last question. Yeah, there could be comorbidity. Comorbid. They could be comorbid. Yeah, of course. You can have two personality disorders at the same time. Very common, actually. What's also common is people are misdiagnosed with bipolar when they're in fact borderline. Extremely common. It's the most common misdiagnosis in psychology. Yeah. It's also people with bipolar, the goal is to have it go into full remission. That's what we want, right? And that's what happens. But sadly, it's very few ever stay in full remission. The bipolar comes back. That's more common than anything. We could get treatment, we could feel better, emotionally unstable, and then bipolar comes back. Okay? Is it possible to be emotionally stable even if I was bipolar? If you're still bipolar, it's not in a remission, you wouldn't be necessarily considered emotionally stable. Make sense? And am I answering your question correctly? Am I understanding your questions? I'll read them again. My question is it possible to be emotionally stable even if I was bipolar? Well, you said even if I was. It's possible to be diagnosed with bipolar, manic depression, have it go into full remission, and you be emotionally stable. The problem is it comes back almost always. But is it possible to be emotionally stable even if I was bipolar? Now I'm using past tense, so yes. Is it possible if I am bipolar? No. Then you wouldn't be bipolar. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There's other criteria. But if you're bipolar but in remission, that would be considered we are somewhat emotionally stable. Can it combine with BPD? Of course. Of course. There's always, people, someone had bipolar, someone had a personality disorder, it's almost guaranteed they have another disorder of some kind. Okay? Professionals say we may all have some kind of mental disorder. And then you have a base diagnosis. Then you might have other, if you have CPTSD, you might have another type of anxiety disorder or addiction disorder, something like that. Your base diagnosis would be CPTSD. Hope I answered your question. Please let me know, okay? Give me more if you got more. And Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for answering my question. My son is joining the Army. He asked me if I could drive with him when it's time for him to go. I told him why, probably just going to cry all the way up there and back. David, I can actually hear myself making it all about me. I have to stop and support him because I know this is hard for him and he's probably scared. My question is, how do I keep it together on that long drive? I know if I start to get upset, my blood pressure is going to go crazy and I don't want him to think about this while he's doing something for himself. Can you help me with the long drive? Because I really don't want to go. Am I being toxic? No, you're not being toxic, Victoria. There's great self-awareness to hear yourself make it more about you than him because you're so scared. You just care for your son, Victoria. You spent, much of the last couple of decades protecting him. It's hard to stop, isn't it? I know. He's an adult now and he has to protect himself, Victoria. You don't have to make the drive. Talk to him. Tell him how upset you are and you're afraid you're going to make him more upset going up on the drive. He might say, it's okay, Mom. You don't have to. Okay? And we just take care of ourselves too, Victoria. Can't put yourself in such horrible, positions. Take some time. I don't know when this is happening. Maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. You have some time, maybe a couple of days to think about it, decide. But talk to him. That's all we can do, Victoria, is talk to him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him you want to be supportive and you're just so afraid that the whole drive up there I'll be crying. Oh, no. It'll make him more scared. What can we do together? Okay? You want some help to go up there even though it's going to be, you might want to take some blood pressure medicine if you feel that's going to go up, huh? We can also take something to calm us down. There's tons of natural things that we can take. One good one is cortisol ease. It's a plant-based product made by someone to help with PTSD. It'll help lower your cortisol levels, okay? Make sure you get plenty of sleep the night before. Maybe raise your heart rate before you go. That will help, okay? Maybe you can eat along the way. You want to eat, so maybe you can do that at the beginning of the trip. Maybe you guys can listen to an audio book or something like that. Be focused on one single task at a time. You're already driving, Maybe you can make it a fun trip and visit something along the way. Make it more about that. Maybe you can discuss plans when he gets back. Does he know when he's going to be done, be out of boot camp? Does he get to visit you again? Maybe you guys can talk about and make plans for that. Okay? Do some things that are self-soothing. Yeah? soothing, maybe a little fidget toy. But I think distracting yourselves would be good. Let's not talk about, talk about as much as you can until the drive, and then make it about something else, Victoria. I hope that helps. I'm really sorry. Don't consume any caffeine before you go. That'll make it worse. Okay. I don't know how long the drive is. Give me more information. When are you going? How long's the drive? Try talking to him, please. It's always the best thing we can do is talk to him. It'll make you feel better. He'll understand. I know he'll understand more. And I know he wants his mom there because he's scared and he loves you. Makes him feel safer. Maybe we can just tough it out for that. But you don't have to, Victoria. Let's do this because we want to. Okay? No pressure. Tell him how you feel. Maybe get him to say, oh, you don't have to. Maybe that'll help if we're telling ourselves and it's not working. Okay? You don't have to. If you want to, you can go. It may not be as stressful as you think, as you're expecting it to be. Plan something fun along the way. Someplace to visit. Eat first. I would eat first together and then plan somewhere else to check out and look at. And maybe something along the way we can listen to, talk about something fun, and make plans for when he's done. I would assume he's going to be gone for a few weeks. Yeah, first. Thank you, Victoria. Let me know what happens. Rory from Ohio again. Hi, Rory. I hope your New Year's Eve is a fun one. It was safe. Thanks. I went to a relative's for dinner, then home. I will probably stay up till after midnight, then zonk out. My question is a little bit morbid, but have you heard anyone say the narcissist passed away with a smirk on their face? My husband did. Even my adult granddaughter asked why Grandpa was smiling. It was a bit unnerving to say the least, maybe because he got the last laugh. Just thought I'd ask. Rory from Ohio. I'm sorry you've had to think about this ever since then. All I can tell you is that when we pass away, our muscles can do different things for different reasons. Okay? So, if it's a real smile, we smile because of our emotions. Smiling is just an affect. There's no more emotion. There's no more affect. So I don't think he's really smiling. Okay? Like I said, we do all kinds of different things when we pass. Some pass with eyes open, eyes closed, mostly eyes open, I believe. But, especially when you get into, I don't mean to be morbid either, but especially when you get into rigor mortis, stuff like this, we do different things and stuff, okay? Yeah. It takes more muscles to smile than frown. No. What I think the saying is it takes more muscles to frown than smile. Smiling's more natural. Did he smile a lot in his life? He may have. That's common. Hide who I am, hide my problems. I don't know. Use those muscles a lot. It's a contortion of our face, and I think things like that can happen when we pass. Yeah. I don't think it means he got the last laugh. I'm sorry you had to think about that, Rory. My Valky. Netherlands. Yay. Someone tells us where they're from. I think you got my question wrong. Okay. BPD indeed seek out abusers and win in relationships, even against sociopaths. However, is the BPD more vulnerable to NPD outside of a relationship? For example, bullying, maybe online? Yeah, of course. We all have a vulnerability for things like I brought up cults, financial scams, and manipulative relationships. We all have vulnerabilities to these things. That's why we get into them. It takes one person to be influential and the other person to have a vulnerability. Okay? Someone with borderline personality disorders and completely vulnerable. And this is why we get bullied. Very common for a lot of us to get bullied and teased growing up in school. We have a vulnerability. Okay? So are they vulnerable to narcissists outside of a relationship? Yeah, it makes no difference. Totally. Yeah. Okay? maybe I can elaborate. You said, for example, bullying. I mean, people that are vulnerable are easily influenced. So you take in someone who's influential, like a manipulative narcissist, trying to manipulate them or take your money or your relationship, bullying you, it's all the same. Bullies will try to pick a target they believe that they can bully and get away with. Somebody who may appear vulnerable. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Sorry that I got your question wrong. I think you mean that I misunderstood your question. I think I understand it. And last time I said, yeah, they are very vulnerable. I still think that. Maybe you can elaborate more on your question and ask me a little bit more. That might help. Might help me. Thank you. And Rose from the United Kingdom. Hope everyone had a lovely Christmas. That's nice, Rose. We hope you did too. Over Christmas time, which I love, I was seeing a lot of confusion from him. These things were very easy to understand. It looked a lot like autism. Is autism anything like BPD? No, but it will, there's certain parts that are similar, may look similar. People with borderline personality disorder have major cognitive problems, major taking in information, right? Their perception may not be very accurate, more inaccurate as the rest of us. That really offended me what you said. And remember you did that and you're saying, I didn't do that. And yeah, the false narrative, changing things, changing reality, delusional. Yeah. Autism, cognitive problems reading people's affect. Borderlines very commonly will too. They think you're upset because they feel like you're upset. It's nothing you did or your face or anything, right? Borderlines will think that their emotions are reality. If I feel offended, no matter what you did or said, you're a bad person. It's like, well, 10 other people aren't offended by what that person said. So are they still a bad person, or is it maybe just you and your emotional reaction? Right. Anyway, is it anything like BPD? Not really. I think that would be the one part that I could pull out, the cognitive dysfunction, your cognitive skills, taking in all the information, right? If I'm watching you and I'm watching and studying your affect, your body behavior, the tone of your voice, what you're saying to me, both people have problems and their own difficulties with that. So there's a similarity, which you can find in almost all psychology, right? Very, very distinct, different disorders with very distinctly different criteria for diagnosis. Hope that helps, Rose. It's not to say that he isn't or is autistic or is or isn't borderline. And believe it or not, you can have both. You can be autistic and have a personality disorder. Okay? Seen it. All right? Thank you. Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. Hi, David. Can you please make a video about zoning out and rumination and why it happens and why you make up worlds in your mind when younger? Yeah, like daydreaming. Yeah, a form of dissociating. We may make up an entirely fictitious family in our heads. And when we want to, we can resort back to this family almost as if we're a part of it, or we're directing it, because our life is so dysfunctional, so unmanageable, so helpless, hopeless. Dissociating. Mild forms of it. Daydreaming. Zoning out. Yeah. The rumination is obsessing. And the more our life is not fruitless, right? If I don't have much of a life, especially, I've had trauma in my past, my brain wants to understand and make sense of it. Can't move on, can't heal from it. You want me to make a video about it? I've made video about dissociating, zoning out. I've made videos about ruminating. Can you be more specific, Emily? What do you think would help? What do you think? What kind of video are you looking for besides just zoning out and ruminating? Maybe my question was enough, or my answer, sorry, was enough for you. to understand, let me know and keep asking questions. I'll make videos about anything. I'm just trying to think of what kind of a video would this be about or for. I need more than just zoning out. Okay? All right. And I don't mind making, similar videos. If I made one about dissociation, I don't mind making another one. I usually will have some more information to add. Thank you, Emily. I'm sorry that you're experiencing this. And, oh boy, I cut off part of the name of this question. I'm sorry. Looks like AC3R. Looks like it might be a name that I can't even really pronounce anyway. Sorry, I forgot your name or took out your name. You're asking, how do I get a session with you? I have some questions about BPD, that my head's running myself crazy. I feel like it was my fault. The relationship ended, not my BPD ex now. I've seen she's with multiple different dudes after we broke up. Like, how do you lay in bed playing with each other's fingers, talking about bringing in new life with a baby and getting married in 30 days? Her idea for leaving me 72 hours later. With police, I almost went to jail, all because I was tired of being gaslighted. I finally exploded when she spat in my face about the baby we talked about, and I told her if her family drives 1,300 miles here and takes things that don't belong to her, I'd throw hands, and that the children she was leaving me for, her mom's boyfriend's kids, could screw off and die. I'm getting a little lost. I know it was wrong, and I felt so bad. I have lied, and she knows that, and she purposely activated my trigger for it. Then the cops were called over and over and over and over. Every time I defended myself from her bullying and disregarding my feelings, I somehow was bad for telling her she's hurting me. Well, I'll answer the only question I see in here. How do I get a session with you? You just contact me through my website, daviddemars.com. It's everywhere. Literally. It's in the comment section. I'll put it first one, and it'll be in the description box. daviddemars.com. You can ask me anything you want there. Thank you. Your relationship is very unstable, or let's say this person is sounds what you're describing is very, very unstable. And it can be extremely stressful to have a relationship with someone like this, as you can see. None of us are, like I said, life's not linear, and we have good days and bad days, but this person sounds like this. And I can love you and hate you and marry you and leave you, and you're a great guy and you're horrible. And see, that's unstable. Means they don't know themselves, don't know who they are, can't make themselves feel well. Extremely stressful. We need to heal from this. Okay, contact me, at least contact someone. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't really see any other question in here, and some of this was a little bit hard to follow. If you have more questions about this, please ask me down below in today's video, okay? So I can answer them for you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think, I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't miss one. No, that's it. That's all, guys. Let me know what you think of my answers. Please keep asking questions, okay? If this helped you or might help somebody else, vote on it and share it and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you very, very much. And let me know what you think of my answers. Again, like you heard somebody else, I may misunderstand your questions, and which means you may not understand my answers. So I encourage you to please ask again. I don't leave anybody's questions out. If I miss it, tell me, ask again. Okay? We need to understand our experiences, and I'm just hoping to provide some of that for you guys. The better we can understand, it seems to be that more shame and guilt is lifted out of our lives that we definitely don't need. Yeah? Okay? So you're worthy of it. Everybody can heal from this. Be active, proactive, be active here. Okay? Join in. on the conversation. Ask questions. I just hope that you'll just feel better from it, okay? We all need help in our lives, and if you need help, find that help, okay? All right? Thank you guys very, very much. Have a beautiful year. Think about, what do you want? Anything. No rules, no should have. What do you want? That's it. What do you want? If you do something today, something tomorrow, to help you get closer to that, you'll feel better. You'll feel good. Okay? Love yourself first, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.